means to determine these, interview intelligently. I hope I'm translating that properly from Spanish. Yes, I think that's a good summary. Look for the right personality, look for the right skills, make sure that you're able to determine both of those, and do smart interviewing. Absolutely. Alan asks, what is the ratio of interviewee to interviewers do you suggest? Folks in the room at any one time for how long? That's a good question. I am not a huge fan of the group interviews, in that this can sometimes be tough on people, though I suppose you could make a case that management positions really should be, because that's consistent with how how the manager ends up working. I'd say, try to do mostly one-on-ones, I guess would be the short answer to that. And if you're going to do group interviews where you're going to have multiple people in the room interviewing the guy, just make sure that that's done in a way that's not intimidating. I've seen that be really, really intimidating to people. I've got so many more good questions here, and we're out of time. I want to try to pick one or two, and then for those of you who I couldn't get to your question, I do apologize, but this has been just overwhelming response here from a question point of view. Got a question from James. Requesting resumes from consulting companies, recruiting agencies results in numerous resumes that look very much alike based on the job description that we may have provided. That's right, because they do keyword searches. That's how they do that. I spend a lot of time screening these resumes and rejecting most of them. Often I ask the recruiting agencies to rank the candidates. Sometimes do, most don't. Most of them actually can't because they don't have anybody with any testing capabilities in their organization. And so they really don't have the ability to provide you good input here. And some of them that believe they're providing you good input might actually be deceiving you. James goes on, when you find several identical resumes and reject them, there's a possibility that we may be rejecting a great tester. How do we deal with that? Yes, that's always a possibility, and it's a sad possibility that sometimes people are going to pick agents effectively to represent them. In this case, these recruiting agencies that do not do a good job of representing them. And I don't know what you can do about that, James. I mean, that's there's the classic. This is the classic two-sided risk situation, right? This is the whole producer risk, consumer risk. Though in this case, it's more complicated than that. I mean, the recruiting agencies want you to hire someone from them, so their motivations are clear. Your motivation, of course, is to hire the right person, which means that you want, the risk. There's a risk that you don't hire a person that you should, and the risk that you do hire a person that you shouldn't. Because of the amount of pain associated with hiring a person that you shouldn't, I think you have to accept a higher level of risk than you otherwise would about the possibility of not hiring someone that you should hire. And that's unfortunate to say, but I think that's just the reality, that the process has to be set up in such a way that you have the lowest possible level of risk associated with hiring somebody that you should not hire, and that will necessarily mean that you're going to accept a higher level of risk not hiring someone that you should. Okay. All right. So I'm, as I said, I'm out of time. We're a little over here, and I don't want to go to webinar to hang up on us and cut this thing off. So. I thank everybody for the great questions, great participation. Really, really enjoyed it. Really appreciated it. And for those of you that couldn't get to your questions, again, I do appreciate them. They're all great questions, and I just wish I had could make this run longer. But again, thank you, and please tune in for future ones. Do get those questions in. I will give you a hint that I start chronographically, if you will, to the questions submitted early. So the earlier you submit a question, the higher the likelihood of me getting to it. So to close this session, let me tell you a little bit more about the resources available through RBCS. We run these free webinar sessions once a month, so check the website, rbcs-us.com, to sign up. It's towards the bottom right-hand side, and you'll get invitations too if you're on our mailing list, so make sure that you're on our newsletter mailing list. You can sign up for that at rbcs-us.com. In that mailing list you get valuable discounts on consulting and training services, regular newsletter that includes a featured article on testing and quality and news about what we're doing, as well as notifications about these webinars. And if you'd like a special webinar presentation for your company only of this webinar or any other topic related to software testing, please send an email to info@rbcs-us.com or via our website. And you can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/rbcs, on Facebook at facebook.com/pages/rbcs-inc. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes and get podcasts of these webinars and other types of resources that we post. Like, for example, we have our risk-based testing videos are available via iTunes podcasts. If you go out to the iTunes store and search for RBCS software testing, you'll find us. And we're also on YouTube. So we got a YouTube channel. If you go to youtube.com and search again for RBCS software testing, you'll find our channel and you can subscribe there. And these webinars are posted there as well, and as well as being posted on the digital library of our website after being recorded. So lots of resources available for you. This concludes the webinar. I'd like to thank everyone for joining today. Really great participation, and I'm glad that so many of you had such great questions. And I look forward to seeing you all on future webinars. Thank you.